Welcome back everybody to another Udyr build. It's patch 6.12. This build was designed for one purpose, and that is to do the highest DPS we can in the early and mid game. So we're going to max Tiger first and Phoenix second. And I decided to get Tiger earlier than Phoenix because Tiger is really good in the early game, and it'll help us get some early kills and try to get that early snowball rolling. But by the time we get to mid-game, Phoenix will actually be our largest source of damage instead of Tiger. But we will still use Tiger to boost our attack speed before switching to Phoenix. Our first complete item will be Rage Blade. We're going to start out by building the pickaxe so we can have that early Q damage. But then of course, once we have the Guinsoo's finish, we get that Guinsoo's Rage passive. For our second item, go for Trinity Force. After finishing both of these items, with just these two items, we're going to have 2.2 attack speed in combat with flames in every second attack. Also, we will have 25% CDR. Now for the third item, usually you want to get some defense at this point. So finish your jungle item, usually go for Center Hulk. And then for the boots, either go for Merc Treads or Ninja Tabi, I would say. And then you got 2 slots left at the end of the game to pick any of these items based on whatever you need. So you can either look at the scoreboard or look at your death recap to see where most of the damage came from. For the runes, I like to run attack speed quintessences, hybrid penetration marks, flat armor yellows. I have 6 scaling cooldown reduction blues for a total of 10% CDR at level 18, and I have 3 scaling magic resist for 9 magic resist at level 18. For the masteries, our keystone is fervor because we just want to do the most damage we possibly can. Taking natural talent, we don't really need this lifesteal because Hunter's Potion will keep us full health for most of the game. And this double-edged sword will increase our clear speed, and also since we're going to be doing so much damage to champions, a percentage increase on that will help us a lot. Starting at Gromp, our Q is already activated. We will smite Gromp right when it spawns, and then attack twice, activate Q after the second attack, and if you do it just right, you should see 200 damage stack up from the 2 different Q burns back to back. Then level 2 Phoenix. Alternate Q and R, focus the large one, and try to position yourself so that the flames hit the small ones. Whenever you're in Phoenix, wait for it to complete 1 cycle, and then right after the flames, switch to Tiger, and then just switch back to Phoenix as soon as you can. So it's usually 4 attacks in Phoenix and then 2 attacks in Tiger, and just repeat that. You could actually keep your passive fully stacked from level 1 all the way through until your first recall. You just have to use abilities in between camps to keep those passive stacks. So right here I'll use Phoenix, still have 3 stacks, and then before Raptors I'll start with Turtle, and then Q for the attack speed boost, attack once, and then switch to Phoenix. And then just alternate Q and Phoenix like before. So remember, when you're in Phoenix, wait for it to use flames and then instantly switch off. We're going to leave this ward at red buff, so we're going to recall at level 3 because that's going to give us a Hunter's Potion and basic boots, which is pretty good to buy since we can get it so early. I think it's worth it for the endless mana and healing from the Hunter's Potion, especially since we're not maxing Turtle second. We can pick up every item from this row, and then we'll just head back down to red buff. Activate Turtle and then Q, and then repeat the alternating with Phoenix and Tiger. And since our Krug buff is not over quite yet, we will save a lot of health from the red buff. It's barely going to do any damage to us. Now, at level 4 is our mini power spike. So we're full health, full mana, we just recalled, we have a full Hunter's Potion, boots, and look at this, we're higher XP than the top laners, and that's not something you usually would see as a jungler, but since our clear speed is so fast, that's the strength. The weakness is that we don't really gank until you hit level 4, but then as soon as you hit level 4, you just spend all of your time ganking, and if you can't gank, as you can see here, both my lanes are pushed top and mid, so I decided to invade instead. But you always want to be looking for a fight after that level 4 mini power spike. Right here, we're just going to try to surprise these guys. Well, I'm going to try to surprise these guys with my damage. So he's dead. And got his flash. But that's one kill for us, which means we're off to a good start. And that's exactly what we need for the snowball to start rolling. Now, the jungler just died to my mid laner, so I decided to go drop a deep ward real quick. This is my favorite spot for dropping a pink ward early on in the enemy jungle, right in that bush near his red, so I can see when he's doing red. And also that bush is somewhere that normally people won't check in the early game. So second recall, get the pickaxe, a little bit more damage on our Q, and go back to just ganking non-stop. And when the lanes are not gankable, invade. So right here, this guy is probably going to be an easy kill because he has no mana. Just an attack move so you can stay right on top of the enemy and he will never escape. You can stack up your fervor. Going between lanes, that's your #1 priority with this early strength. You want to apply your pressure and try to get that early influence. Otherwise it's a waste to have this early damage. So I only have enough mana for the Q there, but since I was already in bear stance, I just dropped a stun, switched over to Q, and the burn finished him off. Graves gets a double kill, but he dies too, so not too bad. Looks like we're going to need armor this game, based on who's doing well in the enemy team, so our boots will probably end up being Ninja Tabi. Try to give bot lane a gank. Okay, Lux, you're definitely dead. Since we're level 6, it's going to be a very easy dragon if we want to do that, and it's a good time to do it if you can get a kill in bot lane or mid. So just alternate your Q and W, not R, when you're killing dragon. Q and W. Gotta say, my Yasuo is not too bad. Oh, there he goes, right when I say that. So let's again try to surprise these guys with my damage. Hopefully they will face check this and I will just destroy whoever checks it first. Once I got the stun on Yasuo, I just switch over to Lux, start with Tiger, and then switch over to Phoenix for the maximum DPS. I looked at the scoreboard. Since they have most of their kills on physical champion, I decided to go for the Ninja Tabi. Very nice plays by the Yasuo. Beautifully done. Let's just try for a cheese kill. So we can just sit in this bush, and if anybody walks past to get into lane, let's just jump out of the bush and ambush them. But they warded it. Let's just leave now. We're getting to the point of the game where it's important to get towers, and we don't have any towers down yet, so I'm going to try to push mid a little bit. This Yasuo's trying to trade with me, but he's really not able to do any damage. Ooh, barely saved that Yasuo. Alright, let's try to get this tower. I'm really low on mana, so we can't really fight this Nasus, so let's just run away. Pick up this blue buff. Blue is our best friend. Now we can return to mid lane. Once these guys missed both their skill shots, I decided to engage. As always, started with Tiger, attacked once, switched to Phoenix. Then I decided to run around the back to try to get 1 or 2 more kills. I could have survived if I didn't take 2 tower hits. Oh well. So I got the Guinsoo's, I got 2 daggers, and with just these items, you can see my attack speed is already above 2.0. We got flames every 1 second. So after the first dragon, you don't need to alternate Q and W. You can now just alternate your Q and R for the faster clear. Here's an example of what I think is the optimal sequence of abilities when trying to lock somebody down. Start with Tiger, attack once, and then switch to Bear Stance, and then switch to Phoenix as soon as you can to get the flames on every second attack, because at that point your Guinsoo's will be stacked up, your Furfur will be stacked up. Just go to max DPS mode with your Phoenix. And without any mana, there's really not a lot you can do. So try to avoid getting stuck in a fight without any mana, because you will not be able to get away or do damage. Finally, pushing down mid-inhib tower. Doesn't look like we're gonna see much resistance. So based on the fact that I started out so fed and I ended up dying, I think even if you're going like hyper carry mode, it might be a good idea to get Cinderhulk before finishing Trinity. So I'd recommend Cinderhulk second item if you have that problem of dying. We're just wearing these guys down, and these guys can tell they're not coming back, so that's going to be the end. They're going to surrender. Hopefully you learned. Leave a like if you liked, and if you have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.